This is my vintage home on wheels. After 7 years of trying, failing, and figuring it out, I finally made van living work for me. I'll share a full tour and how I make life on the road work with a balance of seasonal work and adventures. Then a challenge, because real living happens beyond your comfort zone. I live in this van. I bought my first van about 6 years ago. Right now I live and work at a campground for the summer, and things have been pretty good. Comfortable. A little too comfortable if you ask me. Well, that changes today. Over the next month I'm going to be trying crazy things that take me out of my comfort zone, and I might be taking one of you guys along with. But first, let me show you how I got here. When I turned 18, I bought my first van. Why? Well, my childhood was kind of crazy. Pretty much like Shameless. And I always felt like I wanted to get out of my town, out of that version of myself. So I left. I got a van, I lived in it in a new town, and I went to school for a bit. I built it out, I hit the road for a few short trips with no idea what I was doing. I could have stayed on that stable route, college, career, but that version of life never fit me. Something in me wanted more. Not more money, more meaning. After years of trying, I finally figured out how to make van living work for me. And I upgraded to this thing. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $9,000 and I knew it was the one. The only problem was, it was 20 hours away in Chicago while I was living in Texas. So I flew out to pick it up and drive it back home. I took it on its first adventure to Austin, then I found what was next. Moving to Washington in the van for seasonal work, which is where I am again for the second season and where we call home for the summer. The van typically stays here, parked, plugged into electricity, and we have water and Wi-Fi from the campground, so that's pretty sweet. Its name is Uncle Rico, given by the previous owner. A 40-year-old van with less than ideal gas mileage, but we brought Sean's car, so that's our everyday driver for now. Unless we go on longer trips, which is coming soon. I'm from Texas, which explains the howdy sign. Over the last few years, I've made it pretty cozy to live in, and it came built out already, so it has some pretty cool, like, random built-in features, like, for example, shelf. Inside you can stand up, which is pretty nice because my last van didn't have that. And there's so much space here. It's got everything we need to live comfortably. A kitchen space, a couch that folds into a bed, a dog, a fridge, and a microwave. An extra storage area back here, and an air conditioner. We have lots of storage space up here where we keep our clothing, and tons of storage space here. In the front area we have 2 swivel seats that we turn into a computer/gaming area for when we're stationary and not driving. It's where I do occasional remote video editing work for the one and only Nikki Delventhal, and Sean shoots zombies or something. So all of this electrical stuff and having Wi-Fi obviously doesn't work when I'm not plugged in. Let me show you what it's like in road trip mode, and let's go off-grid. My mirror is about to fall off, so I'm gonna pull over right here real quick. Okay, I fixed that, but now I noticed that my cabinet is off. I guess the screws were loose. It happens. Many crazy dirt roads later, we made it. Usually I'm off-grid for like a week at a time when I'm like road tripping or adventuring, and when I'm off of work for a little bit, and when I don't have adult responsibilities. Why do I do these weird things with my hands? I don't. It's a 1988 Ford Econoline, and one of the coolest features I found. Wait, there we go. You can step up onto it if you need to like do something up here, I guess. Yeah, we've got various storage compartments. This is where I keep some of my dog Nova's stuff, like her nail clippers. How do you like living in a van? And then we also have jumper cables, and for some reason a potato. I usually have the dustpan in there, but I took it out because aesthetics. And then I also have the letters I use to create messages on this board. Please give me suggestions on what I should say on here next. It's been howdy for the last like 4 months. I need a change. Here's some storage here, like a water hose and the sewer thing. And then this is where the electrical cord is for whenever I am plugged in. Did I press record? This is the back area with a ladder so that if I wanted to go on the roof, I can, but it's a really old roof, so I try not to that often. And then I have a storage compartment right here for all the tools that I need, and then I usually keep the broom back here so it's not in the way. This used to be a toilet and shower area, but I kind of converted it into like extra storage space and like a little bench there too. I haven't needed to change my toilet situation because I use the toilets at the campground and the shower at the campground, so that's pretty nice. Speaking of the campground, let's chat about how I actually make it work living in a van before I continue with the tour. Seasonal jobs have been the way that I've made living in a van sustainable for me. It takes out factors that made it difficult in the beginning, like having a stable income, having a general plan, having resources. The seasonal jobs I've had over the last year have also been a way for me to try new things I would have never been able to do without it. I worked at an agricultural job that's catered towards RVers. That's a month-long gig. You can make around $5,000 in 1 month of work, and they give you a campsite to stay at near the job site. Working that job last year allowed me to go out of country for the first time and spend a month in Mexico backpacking, camping, and hostel hopping, experiencing slow travel and being immersed in the culture. After that, we got a job at a ski resort in Colorado. We didn't bring the van for that one. We were able to get employee housing. And it's not about living in a van year-round. That doesn't make me any less of a dirtbag traveler. It's about living different experiences and different lives in the time that we have. Sorry. At the ski resort job, I got to try a new thing. I learned how to ski when it otherwise would have been unattainable. Have you seen season passes? They're like well over $1,000. It was amazing that there was such a cool community of people that we worked with and the ski culture we got to be a part of. Living in Washington working at the campground has been a great way to take weekend camping trips to amazing places around the North Cascades. This way of living and doing seasonal work has been one of the best ways that I've found to make living in a van sustainable and just fit my lifestyle in general. Back to the tour, then the challenge for the week. There is a little bit of storage under there. You can see I have like a wooden thing, and that's just where I keep arts and crafts supplies. Here are my front seats. They are in driving/road trip mode right now. And as you can see, I don't have the monitor out at the moment because it would kind of be useless because driving it would fall, and then also I don't have electricity right now, so there wouldn't be any point. Okay, so good news is the speedometer works and odometer, but the bad news is the fuel gauge does not work, so I kind of have to calculate it. I have run out of gas a few times. And then the front console has a ton of extra storage. I like to have that there because it's cute. A little cup holder, AirPod, Sean's PS4 controller over here. Might as well turn the couch into a bed so that you can see how that is. It's pretty easy. I do it every single day, twice a day. This out, put these legs up, and now it's in bed mode. My foot is stuck. I usually have the window cover on, so I never get to enjoy a view like this. Because usually we want privacy at the campground and stuff, but this is so pretty. I love it. I should camp off-grid more often. This sink actually can work when it's plugged into water. It's really just for storing dishes until we go out to the water station and clean them. And then our stove runs on propane. I've only ever had to fill it once since I've had the van. This is where we keep our toiletries and stuff. And then this is more kitchen utensils. A knife that needs to be cleaned. These are the grocery bags that we get when we shop, and we use those for trash bags. Cups over here, plates over here. I am using the fridge as a cooler right now, and sometimes we put ice in it if we go long term. We keep it taped up when we're driving because the latch broke. This is pretty neat. It's a pantry that slides out. There's so much room in here, 3 different shelves. We also have this cabinet over here, and we put flour, dry pasta, chips, and then spices, which is a mess right now because when I drove, everything kind of got out of place. Yeah. So here's the truth. I have everything I need to live comfortably, but I didn't start this lifestyle to be comfortable. For the month of September, I'm challenging myself to do one uncomfortable thing every week. Something that scares me a little. Today, I'm starting small, with a 10-mile hike to see the sunset, then hiking back in the dark. The rules are simple. Don't die, and maybe make a friend along the way. There's the Canadian border that way. We're going this way. 10 miles. Here we go. The camera's not going to do it justice. After 2.5 hours, we made it to the top. We're going to hang out here for a little bit, eat some dinner, and enjoy the sunset.
The night above the Mars.
Like 5 miles down, and now 5 more back. We came across a PCT hiker, and I told myself bring snacks so that I can give them out. We brought peach rings, we brought Reese's peanut butter. She was cool. She had like an umbrella She was through hiking just the Washington section of PCT. That was a pretty straightforward challenge. Hopefully next one will be something bigger. Like, I don't know, maybe convincing a stranger to go on a road trip with us? Who knows? I would love to hear some suggestions. Living in a van changed my life. Not because it's easy, but because it constantly invites me to live intentionally. It takes me to new opportunities, to chase discomfort, to write my own story.